we're here. Howdy, fellas.
Hey, howdy.
Hello, hello, hello.
We brought a special guest along tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate the
No, I said special, not special needs.
You've never introduced me that way before. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, I guess that's me.
Yeah, Kelly's here too.
Kelly's here too. I just realized I'm logged into the chat as my on the wrong account, so I'm switching that out right
You
right
can be
now.
Torrance yours. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a little trivia for you. That's really my first name is Torrance.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. So I have been, I've been out of town like the last 8 weekends in a row or something crazy like that. I'm in town this weekend, and I'm super glad about that. It'll be nice to not have to go anywhere.
Well, I mean, we need a meetup.
Yeah, I agree.
Now that the temperatures have come down some.
I as a matter of fact, I was talking to Chris Hope about that, and he wants to come out too. So I definitely want to have a meetup.
Yeah, but you ran Chris off to California, so
yeah, Chris is in California doing a little work, and now he'll be back on Thursday though. I think that's what I hear. It's the rumor. Is the field down in down where we usually fly? Is that open this time of year? Like football's over?
I don't know what the schedules look like down there anymore, up there anymore, because when we started using it, I was told the after effects of COVID.
Right.
They still had everything shut down, but now they're back to playing football and soccer and everything on the weekends. I don't think we got a snowball chance to get in there.
Well, that's
especially. I mean, they're gonna have the fields occupied, so then you flying over people gets no. I don't want to open up that can of worms.
Yeah. All right. No, we've Chris and I have found a few good spots up here. Remember, we tried to take you to our bando, our one and only bando in Austin, and it was super muddy that day, so we didn't fly there. And then we ended up going to that underpass. And Kai, it was a pretty long walk. Kai walks all the way there, carrying all his stuff, and then he forgot a part or something and had to walk all the way back to his truck and came all the way back, and then something didn't work, and it was one of those typical frustrating drone days, right?
Yeah.
But Chris and I got to fly a lot, so that was cool.
You got to take those mistakes and turn them into glorious events.
We were flying those little flywoo.
Well, everything was good until Kelly decided to buzz over the homeless guy that was living on the bridge. Okay?
Yeah, I started getting some.
Then things got a little interesting.
He started giving me some looks. Well, he was over there doing something with his shopping cart, and I wasn't trying to fly over him. That was just the path I was going through.
Right.
He happened to be standing there in my path. You
did see the recent fine given to somebody that was harassing homeless people. It was like $270,000.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, I was not harassing him. I probably didn't fly within 20 feet of the guy. And second of all, I think
he was in Austin too, wasn't he?
I think it was it really? 270,000?
That's called a joke.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, if you just paid that to the guy, you could buy a house. He wouldn't be homeless anymore, right?
I was just trying to get him up.
Actually, I think that guy's in Utah.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
I have no idea. That's pretty harsh. That's a harsh freak. I mean, my Lord.
Well, somehow I've been back on the DJI train for the last couple of things, and it's been good. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to have I will say that they don't always make it easy. Sometimes their stuff they give you arrives really late or arrives without a whole lot of time to do anything with it, or we even had a couple of situations like with the Neo. I was supposed to send it in for an approval, you know, kind of like make sure all the facts were right. They never change any editorial stuff. They only want to make sure, like, if you get a stat wrong or something, that they can correct that stat. And they were slow getting back to me, so I was slow getting that video out, which I was a little frustrated by. But you know, what are you going to do?
Well,
yeah,
since nobody has it yet, I guess you're okay.
Is it still hard to get the Neo?
I don't know.
It's a great little drone.
I
actually,
guess the Neo, everybody's waiting on the new package deal was the goggles and 3.
Right. Which I think is going to be a good deal because those goggles are bigger. They don't have the diopters in them, but they fit over your glasses. And
Good.
So I think if you're a person that wears glasses, now here's a question for you guys. I only wear readers. Like I only wear things. I'm I guess farsighted, so things up close to me or can be a little bit hard to read. But the glasses I wear, the focal length is probably about, you know, I don't know, 18 inches away from my face. Yeah. So when I put them on, it didn't look very good with glasses. It was easier to see without them. How does that work with normal glasses, like normal prescription glasses?
Well, I can tell you I had the same. Sorry, go ahead, Kai. I think we got the same prescription.
From my understanding, when they design these goggles, they're not on reading distance, they're on far sight. The way they have the mirrors and everything is set up inside those goggles, it's all for distance view and not for up close.
Okay. Well, then that's why I can see fine in the goggles then.
That was the case with the V1s and the V2s with me. Is I had a better experience with them off.
Without your
glasses. Don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen with these.
There's no adjustment is what I was saying. There, you know, you don't have the little knobs and the things you can slide around. But and it's not 2 screens, it's 1 screen. It's one big screen. And I'm doing something. My camera's reacting to my hand things. It honestly, I like it better that way. These goggles are a little bit heavier. They are definitely more bulky, but I have the Goggles 3, and with the Goggles 3, I don't like the rubber that's around them as much. These have the foam padding, and I haven't really flown these. It's been cooler since I've been flying these, so it's not a problem with being sweaty or anything like that yet. Now in the summer, yeah, you're going to sweat into this foam, and you're going to have to do something about it. But the comfort of them is pretty good other than the weight. They weigh more like the goggles, the original 1s or 2s.
Do you leave the strap on the top?
No, actually, I don't have the strap on the top. It's optional. You can take it off, and I don't have a strap on the top.
Strap because it did, like you're saying, balance them a little bit better. But the battery is kind of nice. I thought.
Yes, I like the battery on the back is actually because these are the only goggles. I guess the Goggles 3 I have a battery on the back, but I like it better than having the battery just with a cable because then all the weight's in the front. But they're pretty comfy. I like them.
The price is great.
Yeah, the price is great, especially compared to the others. And all you're giving up is a little bit of weight, and I think those diopters. And I don't know. They're only 04, right? So that they aren't. I don't think they're backwards compatible with. So far, they're only Avata 2 and Neo are the only 2 things you can fly with it. I don't know why you couldn't fly the Mini 4 because the Mini 4 works with the Goggles 3, so it should work with the N3s at some point with software update. I haven't been told that, but that's what I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's typical DJI, right? They come out with that, and then for 3 or 4 months, you can only use it. Was the one thing it came out with, and then they start opening up the firmware.
I will tell you though, the Easy Acro, the power loop on the if you watch the video of our N3 video, the power loop on the Avata 2 is pretty freaking cool. I mean, you just push the joystick forward and it does a perfect and a very tight power loop. It's not even like it doesn't even go way up in the air. It just kind of does it right there. But I watched it with the goggles on, and then I just watched it from the side, and it's a perfect circle. I mean, the robots have got that stuff down. Kai's seen me try to power loop before. It ain't pretty.
Yeah, I just fixed your name.
Yeah, power loops are over.
Thank you.
Are overblown. I think if as far as using it for a video shot, you really can't. So that's why I think like fast turns really good. Like the what do they call that turn?
I forget what it's called. It's a one push and it does a 180 as it goes past something.
Yeah,
that looks pretty cool.
Slide or no 180. I forget what. Anyway, that turn is
180 spin. I think.
Yeah, that turn looks really good cinematically. So when you're doing stuff, but it is cool to power loop. I mean, if you're just acro flying, and
so you Chris, you've flown the Neo, right? A fair amount. Yeah, you have one. I've seen you have some videos about it.
I flew it the other day, man. I put rates in it. I'm already adjusting the rates on the controller and stuff.
Did you make them faster? Did you make the rates faster? Yeah, they're pretty slow.
The issue is that the Neo is not really made for full acro. So by changing the rates too much, it does affect the flying in a negative way. So you want to make it so you can turn, and so it's better for, like any kind of controller, you want it working with your brain in your hands at the same speed. The rates that it comes with are way slow. They're too slow. They're ridiculously hard to fly when they're slow like that. So to get them a little more perky, especially your yaw speed, so you can turn. But anything, within this plane right here. But
like if you're flying in normal mode.
I got as high as I could, and I did a straight on dive. It immediately pulls out. And that sucks. That's not even fun. I'm like, come on, I want to dive. I want to go straight down. You can't do it.
Right.
The attitude adjuster goes, no. And then it'll flatten out on you, and you try to do it again and flattens out.
No, it's not. It's definitely not an acro,
which
quad.
Is okay.
And it's not designed to be, right. It's where it's nice is it's small. It's what I think DJI should have come out with for their first FPV, right?
Yeah,
because
the
thing. And the fact that you can start by flying it straight out of your hand and just, pushing the buttons and doing all that, which honestly, I don't use that very often. But if that's something that you're just doing some selfies on the side of a nice looking, I don't know, lake or something, and you want a cool shot, it works pretty well for that.
Yeah, it's basically a mini 4K. It's to me, when you got the controller, the N3 controller, you just, flying it normal. I can get a lot of the same footage, except it's cropped in. So you just gotta. That was the other thing they fixed. That crop change, where now you get the full goggles view. Oh my gosh, that makes flying so much better. That crop was terrible. I tried to take off, and I felt like I was in a tunnel, and I couldn't see left or right. So you just don't know where it's safe to turn. And now you get the whole view. So much different. But
what do you think about 30 versus 60 frames? Because Chris and I want to know which Chris Waters and I have an opinion on that. Have you seen the difference between those two? Have you tried them side by side?
No, I have not done that. No.
So what are you mostly flying 4K 30?
Yeah, I haven't had I haven't really cared. I try to get the best footage possible. And I haven't, I guess I said 1080 is like, that's like going back, 8 years. I don't ever put it on 1080, but I never tried it. So I need to see if it, like you're saying, to see if it flies nicer.
Two things we noticed, and I'd love for you to test this and see what you think. You could even, make a video we have a video about this. You can make a video and counter it, or agree with it, whatever you think. But we both think that 1080 60 looks better than 4K 30 from a stuttering perspective. And by stuttering, I mean like when you're yawing or when you're turning or when you're going fast, you see that kind of like in the 30. frames per second. If you compare it to the 60, and if you fly them back to back and you do the same course where you have a lot of yaws and a lot of turns, you will feel the difference in your head. It's weird how much smoother the 60 feels.
All right,
I guess if you're only flying 4K 30, you don't have something to compare it to right out of the gate. You have to do it back to back, and you'll see the difference.
Yeah, I didn't. I flew the other day, and I was flying pretty aggressively. I did 3 flights, and I crashed it. I really pushed it, but I haven't checked for that. I guarantee if I look, I'll probably see something that you said. It's kind of like it's not there until somebody tells you it's there.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I can't unsee it now. Now that I've seen what the 30 frames per second footage looks like compared to the. But you really only notice it if you're flying fast or if you're turning a lot. You know, Kai, you've seen this before, right? With 30 versus 60.
Yeah, I've seen your video on it.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't see that. I thought I'd see that. I've seen
But
that.
speaking of seeing videos, Chuck is in here, and Chuck, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
You know, he goes all the way to England. No, takes a trip out to the Cotswolds, okay, which was great. You know, great video and all, but he forgot the most important stop. He did not go to the Diddley Squat Farm or Clarkson's Bar.
So
come on, Chuck.
You
can do better than that.
Yeah, I gotta say the drone footage on that show. I guess you're a fan of that show, Kai, because they got some pretty awesome drone footage on Clarkson's farm. I mean, they always did, right? They always did on Top Gear, but yeah, Are they going to do another season of that?
It's the same crew that's filming Clarkson's farm that filmed
Top Gear,
or
Grand Tour, right?
Tour.
Yeah. Are they going to do another season? You think of Clarkson's farm?
Yeah.
Okay.
They already made an announcement. 5 is already in the works.
Nice. No, it's a great show.
He made the announcement with a drone light show.
Oh, really? Okay, I haven't seen that.
Where he's announcing it, the 5, and the 5 shapes up and lit up drones in behind him.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, Kai, I hadn't really thought about it, but you're kind of like Caleb. You're the smarter one that knows what he's doing and is always given. I guess if you and I had a show, you'd be Caleb and I'd be Clarkson.
Caleb like that.
Caleb's a smart dude.
Well, he's been around farming all his life.
I know. No,
that's all he's been around.
I would imagine that they don't like drones out over their particular property, but that is some beautiful country. I mean, I'd love to see more.
What part of it's England? What part of
the Cotswolds? It's what is it?
North,
Chippy,
south,
Chippy,
east,
Chippy North. I think it's southeast of London, like closer to the coast, right?
Oh, it's way down there.
Is that right?
No, I thought it was north.
That's on my list. I've been to UK, but I couldn't get out of the airport.
So Chuck, you you were on a bus trip, I guess.
Due west, slightly north.
Due west. Okay. So towards like
south of Birmingham,
Iceland, I guess, right?
No, it's in England. Jeez.
Well, I know it's England, but I mean like towards the island of Iceland. Like, isn't
here? Look, we'll just do this
towards the U.S., towards us.
So
closer to us than it is to Europe.
There you go.
All right.
We got London right here.
We're going south. We're going southwest, right? Oh, right over there. It's straight. It's
straight across.
Straight, actually, northwest.
Yeah, west by northwest.
Yeah. Now go a little further northwest. Oh, I guess that's Ireland. I didn't mean Iceland. I meant Ireland. Although it is closer to Iceland than London as well.
Closer to Iceland than London? Huh?
Iceland
is way the heck up here.
I know, but I'm saying it's closer than London. It's closer to Iceland than London is to Iceland. Like it's in that direction.
Ireland, yeah.
Ireland and Iceland.
Yeah.
They're both up there. So here's something cool. I was in. Can you zoom in on Europe real quick? I was in Stavanger, the Netherlands, Norway. Actually, I was in Stavanger, so
Norway.
I think it's north of
What are
there.
you on? Netherlands or Norway?
Norway.
Yeah,
Okay.
way up there.
Well,
Gotta
here's
go
your
there.
Yeah, there's Bergen. So Stavanger is just north of Bergen, and I think that's directly across from like Aberdeen. Like if you go across the water there, you run into Aberdeen, Scotland. Yeah, I think you're tilted a little bit. You see Edinburgh down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
straight across. It depends on which way you're going, where you start.
Yeah, maps are weird though, right? Because the Earth is actually round. So when you're looking at a map, you're kind of seeing.
Yeah, but when you're flying in an airplane, it probably is straight across in a.
True.
In the what are you? The curvature of the Earth.
The straight would be bowing up though, and not down.
Bowing down. This is a technical stream, guys. So you must pay attention.
Well, I will say flying drones in Norway was one of my favorite spots because there's waterfalls everywhere. It's just crazy how many.
If you have not learned anything, these two's sense of direction, we don't really need to discuss it.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not Norwegian.
That away.
Well, so what got you to Norway? What was your
my brother-in-law,
huh?
my wife's sister's husband lives there, or is from there.
You got relatives.
Yeah, we got to stay in their house, so it was pretty nice.
You like the Griswold.
His brother-in-law made a very good analogy for Kelly. Don't let Kelly fly anything you don't want crashed.
That's right. Quote of the year, quote of the decade. And I've crashed plenty of Kai stuff, so he could say the same thing without any trouble.
That's why we're calling him the impactor these days.
That's right.
Is it just that you get ahead of yourself sometimes?
No, I fly a lot, and I mean, we all crash, right? But if you broke it down percentage-wise, I probably don't crash as much percentage-wise as Kai does. Kai will fly like 6 times, and 3 of those will be crashes. But those 6 times are over like a long period of time, so it seems like fewer crashes.
Based on numbers of flights, how many crashes, thus the percentage is lower or higher.
Was flying, it's like work, okay? You work a lot, you make a lot of mistakes, so you fly a lot, you crash a lot.
Yeah.
You fly less, you crash less.
That's right.
You know? And then there's those geniuses like, Dad over here, that don't ever crash.
I dropped it in the freaking desert this weekend. I thought I was never going to find it.
The Neo?
Well, here's actually something.
Was it windy?
Okay, there's a lot of interesting Neo things that, first of all, I would rather stabilize the footage in Rocksteady. I didn't know how to do that, so I need to fly that way because I don't like Gyroflow. I don't like Rocksteady. I think you get way better results out of Gyroflow. But the reason why I crashed was because I had just changed the rates and I was going to do some sport flying, so I got really high. And I did some rolls.
Anytime you say that as part of your story, by the way, I got really high.
Is high. I knew I was going to make mistakes, so I did some rolls, and then I did a loop, and it never came out of that loop. It freaking went, and I'm like, holy crap! I mean, you should at least like recover and and level out. No, just. It literally falls out of the sky. So, then I'm like, I'm feel like I got to go find this thing. I had no plans to do this. I've got my brand new white shoes on. And then I'm walking through this desert, as watching them turn pink. And then, this is the one thing is I switched my GPS tracker to the Apple tracker. And it took me the wrong way. I went the opposite direction, and then I turned it back.
Sure, blame the tracker.
I don't know why it does that. And then I switched the GPS back to the
we know what
my drone,
what it
and
is.
it was the opposite freaking. I mean, what's that all about?
Apple is backwards. Don't you know?
Well,
I told Guy that.
but also, are you talking about like a compass, or are you talking about like the tracker with the little
phone app? My phone app. Yeah, I'm looking at my app, and it's taking me the freaking reciprocal course to where I'm wanting to go.
Yeah, they'll do that to you. They'll do that
anyway. And Kai dislikes the story because he thinks apples for apple heads.
Yeah. Johnny Appleseed. Well, Kai, what have you built lately? You got any builds going?
I really don't have much in the way of builds going.
No,
kind of been taking a bit of a chill. What's the new prices out there? It's like, ouch.
Yeah.
I had a couple of drones come through here for repairs for other people. I mean, I've got a Atlas 4 laying on the bench over there that I need to put a new flight controller into.
Yeah. All right.
I'm really not building a whole lot. I've been busy with other stuff, like cool concerts to go to.
Oh yeah, who'd you go see?
Sting and Billy Joel.
Oh, nice. I've never seen Sting. I've seen Billy Joel live, but I've never seen Sting live.
That was 2 concerts in one, and I mean, both of them were just awesome. Was
that at Coda?
Nope. I was at the Alamo Dome here in San Antonio.
Oh, okay, nice. I think they played at Coda as well during the F1 race.
Sting played.
I thought Billy Joel played too. No?
Not them.
Okay.
He only one they were advertising was Sting.
All right. Well, who did you like better?
Well, I like Billy Joel better, but I mean, both of them were just freaking awesome.
Yeah. Were you into the Police back in the day?
A little bit.
Yeah, I was pretty big time. But I will say I saw Billy Joel. I've seen Billy Joel 2 times. Once with my mom when I was really young. My mom loved Billy Joel. We went to see him in Houston, and then I saw him once when he was here in Austin. And yeah, he put on a good show. I mean, it's been 20 years since I saw him, but is he still kicking for an old guy?
Well, let me put it to you this way. The whole concert started at 7. It was Sting first and then Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And he didn't walk off stage till 11:15.
Dang. Wow. Okay. So you got your money's worth.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, he came back out for an extra set, and that wasn't just one song. It wasn't 4 or 5 songs that he tagged on. So I mean,
and hopefully he played all the hits, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All the hits and then some.
Nice.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than an artist that comes out and plays their new albums. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah. We got a new one for you. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I left the Black Crowes because they did that to me. Like a whole set. And I'm like, no, we don't want to hear any of that crap. And it was literally Robert Plant did that too.
I saw the Black Crowes years ago, and they were great. I think
I like them. I like them, but I don't want to hear their new crap. I want to hear at least one song.
Yeah, play something I know. Play something I know from the first album. Why my camera's like rocking up and down. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, Robert Plant did that too. He came out with a gourd and a flute, and I'm like, oh my god,
gourd.
Yeah, it was bad. And it's Robert Plant. I mean, he's a living legend. I mean,
of
Sting.
Course.
I mean, holy crap. He can't play a bad song because every damn song he has is been played on the radio 7,000 times.
It's true.
Same thing with Billy Joel. They're just both really, they've got tons of work.
Hit makers.
Body of work.
Big body of work. Yeah. It's like YouTube channels. You know, I like to go back and watch. I don't like this new stuff that Lone Star UAV does. I like to see the classic Lone Star UAV, you know, the live streams from a couple years ago. And videos from a couple years ago. It's like he makes us watch the new stuff.
Well, I got a little Robert. I got a little Robert Plant story for y'all.
He was living in Texas for a while, right?
Yeah, he still is in the Austin area. Gal I was dating 18 years ago, her stepdad was one of Rusty Weir's crew.
Oh, yeah.
And when he passed away, he had an old tube amp and a couple of guitars laying around. And Robert Plant actually came and picked those up and bought them.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And he put some healthy money on the table for it, too.
Down in San Antonio?
No, up in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Up in Valenti.
Is that where he lives? Valente Beach?
No.
Oh, that was where your girlfriend's dad lived?
That's where her family lived, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a nice area out by the lake. Is there you guys finally get a little cool down where both of you are? I mean, it's a little better here. We've gotten out of the 90s.
Yeah. We're out of the hot stuff, so
yeah, 70.
Now time to go fly again.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
We're getting rain at night, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, and I imagine when you get some rain, like everything kind of sprouts up, right? It's like, ooh, water.
It smells. It looks pretty when it rains, and when you're in the Red Rocks, when it just changes the color.
Yeah.
But it'll help. It'll all help the spring. So that's really what really makes the desert pretty. Is it all? If you get good winter rain, the spring you get just beautiful flowers, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Checks out says a balmy 35 Fahrenheit up there.
Dang. Yeah,
it's been close to freezing here.
I heard something about Vegas got a bunch of snow, like record snow in Las Vegas last week.
Really?
Yeah. Like
it was cold
in Vegas.
I've got the exact same weather as Vegas.
That's
they can get snow. They can get it up high, but their elevation is just a little bit lower than me.
No, my vote is next weekend. This is next weekend.
What is that?
The weekend after next, the 23rd, 24th. We need to have 10 inches of snow in Vegas.
Is that where you're going?
No. Formula One's going to be racing. I want to see them bobsled.
Wow. Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I could probably swing. I'm around this weekend, but I've got some stuff to do here. But I could probably swing a meetup on the 23rd or 24th if you are down, Kai.
Sure, we'll figure something out.
Okay. Yeah, and I think Chris will be back, so maybe Chris Hope will.
Oh, by the way, see what I'm wearing?
I saw that. Looking
nice.
Good.
Like it.
I mean, honestly, if you want to know the reason I struggle with flying, it's because my arms are so short. I'm a Tex Rex.
Well, I understand. Chris kind of finally sort of spilled the beans, on the old T-Rex thing, and it's not really the age as much that brought that about. It's the short arms, the inability. Because of the short arms, you can't reach your butt to wipe your own butt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. If you're a T-Rex, you don't have to do that. You can just smell bad.
So when Chris says he's been having a shitty day, just use your imagination. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's not been relegated to that duty. And I said duty. I meant to say duty. Yeah. No, we have flown a bit, but we haven't really just gone out and flown for fun, and I want to do that. So let's look at weekend after next.
Yeah, well, I got some stuff for you to fly too. So
yeah. And
well,
you said you still haven't flown the Avata 2 yet, have you? You haven't flown the Avata 2?
I have not flown the Avata 2 yet. I want to see the Goggle Street and the N3.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about is the friggin' Air 3S. It's amazing. I gotta say, if I've been in love with a camera drone recently, the Air 3S. If you saw the video I did on that, it was a lot of night flying, and the footage just I could not believe that wasn't color graded, that wasn't shot in log or anything like that. That was all just straight off the card. That's how it looked, and it looked pretty amazing. I don't know. I honestly think we shot some comparisons with the Mavic 4. I'm sorry, with the Mavic 3, the original Mavic 3, and we haven't finished that video yet, but I think you're going to see the Air 3S. I'm going to sell my Mavic 3 because you don't need it with the Air 3S.
Right. I agree. I haven't flown the 3S yet, and there's a possibility that I might never fly it. But just comparing it to all the other drones that I've flown, I'm just I'm worried that DJI is going to meet some pretty big hardship here. So
yeah,
and I don't want it to happen because I love the product. So I'm very anything with customs, anything. I'm very put off by that.
Pessimistic that we're going to not be able to get our toys for much longer.
And I do. I'm actually betting on the Mavic 4 right now because I know there's going to be a revolution when that comes out because they do that.
Yeah, that's their flagship. The Mavic series.
But I do love the Air. The Air 3, I only flew the first one and I'm like, oh my gosh. I like the portability. I like the compact nature. I mean, it fits in a small case, that whole thing. Very, very, just very user friendly.
I don't have my Air 3S here, but I have not compared. I'd never had the Air 3. So I never flew the Air 3. I had the Air 2 and the Air 2S, but I never had the Air 3. So I want to say the Air 3S is a little bit bigger than the Air 2.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's bigger than the Air 3 was, just slightly.
It's a mini Mavic. And the Mavic Pro
I'm still cruising on the Air 2S. So,
well, the Mini 5 is rumored. I mean, I don't know any. It's funny, Kai. You've asked us a couple times, Chris and I, about like, you got this or do you have this or whatever. And generally, when you've asked, we have not. Like, we got the Avata 2 pretty late in the game, but like right now, I don't have anything that's under NDA, right? And so, but if I got the Mini 5 tomorrow, then this would still hold true. Right now, I don't know when that's coming out, but I'm pretty excited about that because the Mini 4 blew me away. The subject tracking, although I don't know, have you updated the Neo software? The tracking on it is way better. It's improved.
I'm going to do a tracking video. I've got an e-bike that it's been sitting in my garage for about, I don't know, a month now.
Yep.
That's really fast, and I can test that. I want to do that. I just don't have any time.
Yeah. Well, the tracking on it is.
I've been playing with that.
Oh, is that the 4?
Yeah. So talk about in the game late. I finally got some love. So
yeah, nice. That's a great camera.
It is a great camera. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but the whole Insta line is okay. The reason why I wanted I'm more interested in the 360 that DJI is going to come out with because they have the firepower of making it's got to have 8K, the 8K, because that gives you 4K footage,
right, on both sides.
And if they can break the freaking break into the 8K and get you the true 360, and I just don't know what they're
not overheat and have all the problems.
It's a first run that they've never done, and the Insta company, I love those, the Ace 2 Pro. I'm recommending that to people because I love that little tiny what they did with the Go 3S. So anyway, we've got and they're not on the radar of the federal government. And
yeah, true.
There's Brent Possum just put this out. Stefanik has been appointed BUN ambassador.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
which will
anything.
take her out of her role at the house.
She's not the only one working on the project. That's the thing. She's going to hand that off to somebody because she wants to win. And that's scary. But I want, I want a Mavic 4 if the Mavic 4 shows up, I'm going to try to I just don't want to get my money locked up in some freaking game.
Well, you can always buy a Skydio. Oh, wait, they don't get any batteries right now. Oops. Sorry about that.
Skydio 2.
Everything is slow. Yeah,
well,
Skydio's
rationing batteries now.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to buy a Skydio 2. So I don't know if I told you this story already. This was about a year ago, I think. I had the Skydio 2. I hadn't flown it in 2 years or so, got it out, tried to get it going, and it wouldn't, like it kept giving me errors in the app, just having problems.
Run through all the firmware updates one by one.
I had to completely reset it, hard reset it, and then migrate from firmware up to where I needed to be, because I guess I had missed a firmware update and it was a pain in the butt.
Aren't you a little bit disappointed that they didn't just keep rolling with the consumer? Just think about how much work how much work you don't have to do by getting a bunch of knuckleheads to fly, all of these products. You can be working out all of these, literally for free. You could have people giving you data and information to get your product better. And it was so disappointing. Two things, Skydio and Parrot just going for government contracts. It really sucked.
And what about Autel? What's Autel doing now?
Autel just about disappeared off the face of the earth.
Everybody's getting government money, Yeah.
No, Autel's not getting any government money, and Autel,
they're a special
their website is missing pieces.
Hasn't been maintained.
Brian in Houston was hunting for a firmware update, or no, for the app for his phone for the Evo Lite, and finally somebody sent him a link to an APK deposit to download that.
But it wasn't even on the website.
The link, the QR code thing, that link would take you to nowhere.
Oh. Yeah, unsupported.
I really enjoyed flying. I never flew the Lite. I was very interested in that because that was their mid-level. Their cameras were really good.
Yeah,
generally.
No geofencing.
I didn't like the way they flew. I didn't like they were very hard to fly precisely, to get good precision.
They're heavy. They're very heavy, and they also both the Evo and the Evo 2 and the Evo Lite, all of them compared to their DJI competitor, all felt like you were driving a truck instead of a car. And you just had to be aware of that. If you tried to do something fancy, it might just kind of go. Arr.
But I really loved the footage I got. I loved flying them. But
I got an Evo for sale if anybody's interested.
I had one situation where I was in a place. I won't say too much, but I couldn't take off with the DJI, and I could with the Evo, and so I was glad I had it.
Yeah, it's
a nice reason to keep it.
I'm just in limbo right now. My channel, I don't know where to go. I really enjoy. I got a 3D printer back here. I'm having a ton of fun with.
Which one do you have?
The Cobra 3, the 4-color. It's freaking fun.
I think Brad, B-Rad, my brother Brad from Virginia, he said, because I was talking about maybe getting, there it is, maybe getting one. He said the Bamboo was a really good one, like for starter. Is that, you guys agree?
I don't know. Yeah. I would say, it's what I've read.
Bamboo is really good. Bamboo is engineers from DJI that went.
Really?
DJI and went into Bamboo. Yeah, it's a bunch of former DJI engineers at Bamboo.
Huh.
But there's nothing open source in their system, so everything have to use their stuff.
Same thing with those. Anycube.
They also sell the filament, and I know you can use generic filament, and I don't know, the exacts on the do's and don'ts with bamboo, but there is some of their own sauce in there and their software. So,
but can you mess up your printer if you use generic filament? Possibly.
Not
Yeah.
mine. I'm
yeah,
just,
you can.
So what you're saying is it's a closed ecosystem, walled garden kind of situation, which makes it easier to get into, but you're stuck in their ecosystem. Is that kind of the okay?
Yeah.
I mean, as an Apple user, I don't mind that too much as long as it's
good. Yeah.
And it's also, I would consider it, because what Brad told me was it was a starter one. He said it's it's not something, if you get really into it, it's not something that you can really scale.
Well, I mean, they have 4 different models. The A1, which is a bed slinger, just like the one Dad has in there. And then you have the P1S and the X1C.
Yeah, the X1C.
And they're both Core XY printers, meaning the bed actually moves up and then the
okay. So
3D
space.
And well, the P1S and the X1C are both enclosed. So you can also print like ABS or the hotter filaments.
Gotta have the enclosure. Plus,
because it heats up in there.
Yeah, you got to keep it. You got to keep the material at a certain temperature to actually adhere the layers to each other.
Gotcha.
And then like the ABS, like you're saying, will come off. When it cools, it will peel off the bed if it's not keeping at the same temperature, which really sucks. You can see. I actually did some. Wasn't ABS. It was it PETG?
PETG, probably.
Yeah, and you could see it actually. I just did it unenclosed just to see what it looked like, and you could see the part kind of bend a little bit. You can there's things you can do to keep it flat, but you could just like, whoa, that's hot. It needs to be hot. So
well, it seems like a cool thing to get into, and especially if you're trying to build parts for drones or random tech,
Show him, Kai. Time. He just opened up the door.
What'd you print?
No, we haven't printed it yet, but
kind of a cool segue. So
there is a very interesting design out there.
It's really neat. I think it's neat.
That I kind of come across recently. And it's this thing right here.
Whoa. Oh, man.
Yeah, that is 3D printed. That is
super cool.
And it's neat.
It kind of looks like a wingsuit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Like somebody diving in one of those wingsuits.
Yeah, it does. That's exactly what that's cool. Good, like I said, it's
wow. How big is that?
It's 4 or 5 inch.
Yeah. Oh, so it's pretty good size. I mean, it's not I was thinking it was a little tiny whoop thing kind of thing.
It's got a workable plan too. There's a whole like a pretty simple setup that a person with my skill set, which is pretty basic, could put together.
Like a whole kit or parts list to buy. Has anybody built it? Oh yeah. Oh, so it's pushers and pullers. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. That's a neat design. I really like that.
That's really cool.
It's got an 03 camera system in it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that looks awesome. And what's the frame? What would you make it out of?
You would probably print that out of some carbon fiber induced PLA or whatever it's
so
called.
So it's harder than just plastic.
What's interesting, Kai, is I didn't know that PLA also has a flexible version. No. Yeah.
There's a lightweight version of it too.
And then I thought this is my brain. I'm obviously not a chemist here, But I thought that, okay, this is the chemical properties. It's going to be like rigid. And I saw somebody made a phone cover out of PLA Plus or whatever it was.
And it was
I'm
flexible?
like, yeah, it was flexible. I didn't know you could do. So there you go. I don't.
Wow. That's super cool. And 248 grams. Look at that.
Yeah,
I guess
light.
I guess with no battery.
But
There's
with
a battery on it.
carbon fiber,
Right
you're
Oh,
not
there's a
gonna get
battery.
that
It's just not
cool-
plugged in. Okay. Nice.
With carbon fiber, you don't get that cool, like, just unique styling. You can't.
Yeah. This looks a lot more futuristic.
I mean, you got a fan in there, and it's got a GPS on that thing.
That is pretty
Like Kai
freaking
was
cool.
saying, you build it like this. You build it, you pre-wire everything, and then you attach it to the frame, and then you've got that little camera contraption like on the Pavo 20. It just holds the whole camera system together, and then you install that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So are you going to do it, Kai?
I'm going to do that. Why
I'm,
not?
I'm thinking about it.
I don't know if I'll use that material. I'm just going to make a prototype. And
so by the time you get a 03 unit and the parts, you're probably into it for about $300, $400.
Well, I don't know. Set of motors, figure about $80. Flight controller is another 80.
Light controllers can be pricey. You don't have to put a GPS in it. That saves you $20.
Yeah, there's 20, but with
300.
Oh, it's 180 for the
03.
03 now.
Okay, $400. That's what with a frame. You just got to. Assuming
you have to play with it a little bit, but the DJI 04 light unit that I've heard some numbers on is really, really interesting.
I'm really excited for the 04 system. If I want to sink my money into something, it's going to be all the new 04 gear. The new they are just killing the camera market.
Yeah.
They're some of the best footage that you see on.
Old Walksnail better get their act together, because if 04 is coming at the weight they say it's supposed to be.
What's it supposed to be for the transmitter?
The VTX for the 04 Lite is supposed to be right at 30 grams.
And it's got local recording?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Say it has just
and it's apparently
so that's probably less than a Vista unit
on the single board, but it's in a heat sink, and that really doesn't look much different to
Neo. It's a Neo. It's a Neo board.
You have a picture of it?
Kelly, just think of a Neo. Take all the plastic off it and shove it into an FPV. It's think how light that is.
Yeah.
And then the camera they can upscale. Throw the 03 camera in it. I'll take the 03.
Yeah.
It'll be cheaper. So they'll repurpose that and put a new chipset in it for the board. Wow. It's going to be sweet. FPVs just keeps DJI keeps just hammering the FPV market. You are going to be digital. Just give in.
Funny, actually, Chris and I just started playing a little bit with an analog. It's interesting to put analog goggles on after you've been flying digital for a while. It's hard to go back.
So the light unit is going to be a direct competitor to this thing. The Nano Kit V3 that Cadex has out on the Walksnail system.
Yeah.
It's a 1 to 3S. The light unit is supposed to be a 1 to 3S, which really isn't much of an issue because most of your flight controllers have 2 BECs on them now. One for 5 volt and one for like 9 or 10 volt.
So they can do either. So
you can and actually it's a preferred method to run the power for the VTX through the flight controller, because it filters out a bunch of noise out of the
power. Okay. Wow.
This right here, the NanoKit V3 was the HD Pro camera is actually my go-to VTX for anything walk snow right now. It has
not a bad price either.
Yeah, I mean the HD Pro camera. It gets almost as pricey as an 03 unit, but it's like half the weight of an 03 unit.
Right. Yeah, those 03s are heavy. Does it get really hot?
Yeah. Now this one has no reduced power output and what have you, but then with walks now, you can literally use any cameras with any VTX. Okay. This one comes with a nano camera, but I prefer the other camera better. Is it under accessories? Yep. This is the camera I prefer right here. The HD Pro camera. Because this is about the size of the original what's the length? The Vista camera.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it too. That lens sticking off a little bit.
It fits on the frame just like the old Vista camera did, and Nebula Pro and what have you. Polar
fit.
Yeah. Well, it's competition, right? That's why this is coming about and getting better, because there are competitors out there, and it's not just one company. And so, if DJI answers to this, and Caddx continues, and Walk Snow continues, it just makes everything better for us.
We want them. We want the competition to be successful. I want to try different things, but it's so hard. Everybody keeps folding tents. And then,
okay, what's your FPV community challenge? Put it in the chat.
All right. Hey, fellas, I've got to go. I told my wife I'd be done at 6:30. So
we gotta get to, because he's about to get his taco call for the night. So
yeah, it's time.
It was good catching up. And Kai, I'll text you and let's see if we can make something happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks before the holidays get here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thanks,
hey, everybody.
Kevin.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. And I hope I'll see you all soon.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll chat soon.
Okay. Adios.
Adios, Mr. Impactor.
The Impactor.
The Impactor.
That was good.
And if you don't know what it's all about, was the Impactor. And no, Kelly doesn't crash anymore. He has impact with the ground, or the wall, or the tree, or Chris.
Because he flies more.
Yeah.
That's good. That was good. We covered a lot of ground. Holy crap. There was so much stuff in there. When you get another perspective, and you just get that much more stuff. And there is a lot going on. It's just, and it's hitting us, hard. It's just right now, it's the shipping and the unknowns. I don't like unknowns. Unknowns are not good for anything. They're not good for the stock market. They're not good for life.
No.
But you have to be able to roll with them. You have to make sometimes you just make a choice and you hope it works. All right, man. I didn't get my phone call, but I will. My wife said she's with their book club ladies tonight.
We can go ahead and break it off here. We're going to have some interesting new stuff coming soon, and the FPV and the camera drones.
I didn't even know
how it all plays out. Matt's Tech, he just got him the Neo kit with the goggles and 3.
Yeah,
he did like hour and a half stream on it yesterday.
I haven't had
a chance to watch it yet, because
I have to watch the breakdown. Did he do a breakdown of the chips and cameras, or did he just?
Well, he hadn't taken it apart yet. He's doing a special stream on Friday where he's actually going to hack the goggles and 3 apart.
That's what I think. That's what he does the best, and that's what we all want to know. How is it built?
Well, in his stream yesterday, he got out a spectrum analyzer and went through the paces and tried out the ham file. So that's working with the goggles M3.
So good. All righty, I better get
But
down.
I want to see let's see what happens with DJI as time goes on here in the States.
I didn't get a chance to. I was even going to say something about the Walk Snail, their light goggles and their diopter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great technology. You know, that little tiny addition, that little diopter add-on. But we'll see. Maybe it doesn't need it.
Well, you get those for the diopter. You can order that off of CADX website for like $30.
Yeah.
I mean,
with your prescription,
get a good pair of cheaters for that money.
Yeah, with your prescription. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got to go take care of my dog. He's down there barking. It's getting dark early, so he just runs around and barks at everything. And he's probably hungry.
Well, he wants fit.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't come up here and asked. I mean, dinner time was 5 o'clock for him. He usually comes up and he barges in the door and goes, "Hey, is somebody going to feed me in this house?" So
I know.
Yeah, he pushes. He's like, "Hey, I need to eat now, guys." All righty.
But y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
everybody will do it again next week, same time, same place, 5:30 on Tuesday. It's always time for Life from the Workbench.
Yeah, great stream tonight.
Yeah,
thumbs up.
It was good to have Kelly in for a bit and get his perspective on the new tech that he had his hands on, and the rest of us hadn't had a chance to fool with yet.
Yeah.
So, all right, amigos. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on the way out, please. I appreciate it. And until then, any more words of wisdom from Dad on?
Nope. I like kind of what Kelly said. Sometimes you just got to go out and fly. Just go fly, and a lot of stuff to fly. A lot of really cool, affordable things to get out and put it in the air.
All right.
Do it.
Y'all take care. We'll see you next week.
See ya.